What's going on, y'all? Today we're going to be talking about the new YBA update and what I think about it, and in the end I'm going to be giving it a rating out of 10 to see how good this update actually is. Alright, to start, the Halloween event is now extended and it will end in December 8th. That way you have enough time to get your candies in and buy your stuff. However, the biggest new thing that we're looking at right now is the two new stands. These stands are Weather Report and Chili Pepper AU. In order to get Weather Report, you have to defeat Jotaro Part 6 for a 5% chance to obtain Weather Report stand disc. Now, personally, I think this is probably one of the worst ways they could have made it obtained, as you are literally unable to attack Jotaro in a public server now. Every single time you try to fight this man, there will be a gang of 5 people fighting him. Unless you have a private server, you are probably not going to be able to get the stand for a long time. Personally, again, I just don't really think this is a good obtainment method. Please do not do this ever again. The next new stand is Chili Pepper Alternate Universe. Use a Hearts of the Saints corpse while using Red Heart Chili Pepper to achieve this new stand. Now, personally, I think that's a very balanced obtainment method, and they should keep it like that for most stands. Now, I'm going to be talking about how good these stands actually are, and the first one I'm going to be talking about is Red Hot Chili Pepper AU. Red Hot Chili Pepper AU is, as the name states, it's just another version of Red Hot Chili Pepper, and don't expect much from it. I really 1v1 with it and it was kind of hard to use. The destructive power is pretty low as well. Nonetheless, if you're really good at this game and can find out good combos, you could probably make it work, but for the most part, an average player is not going to go handy with this stand. I'm going to be giving it a C, maybe B-. Now, what about Weather Report? Isn't Weather Report the main attraction for this update? Well, yes, because it is the main attraction for this update, it is also the main barrier to actually being able to play. You probably don't understand what I mean. Every single time I tried to obtain this stand, there was a gang of people on Jotaro. They were gang banging Jotaro, and every time you try to chip in, you would just get eliminated or jumped on. It really was just not possible to obtain the stand, so I was not able to review the stand or do any 1v1s with it due to it being so hard to get. Apologies for my rant, but we're now going to be talking about the Timestop balance changes. Now, the first balance changes I want to be talking about today is the Timestop balance changes. These are actually going to be game changing. The first one I'm going to talk about is the fact that you can now run during stopped time. How many years has this game been out and you've been slowed in your own stopped time? This is one of the most ridiculous things ever, and I am so happy they finally bring this to the game. I cannot count the amount of times I have time stopped and the world over heaven uses a lightning and I go flying to the other end of the map. Thank you for adding this to the game. I can finally actually use my time stop to its advantage. Another thing they finally changed is that global time stop cooldown was reduced. Now, this is probably overpowered, but it doesn't really matter because it's kind of annoying in SBR when everyone time stops over and over and over and you can't really get your time stop move out and end up dying. The next time stop change is that the time stop range was reduced by 35%. Now, this I feel like is a great counterbalance to the global time stop reduction, because now you aren't going to be able to just stop everyone in time. For example, in YBA, if you're just playing the game, you're not even fighting the person that time stopped. Because of the range being so huge, everyone in you would just get time stopped and the game would be so annoying because you keep getting stopped for no reason. I personally think this is one of the best changes they could ever add, as in SBR it was so annoying to keep getting stopped every few seconds. The next change is reduce time stop damage cap to 1/3 of the victim's HP. It used to be 37.5%. Now, back in like the OG days of YBA, you could do upwards of 50 to 70%, and that was really troublesome. However, they keep reducing it, and I don't really feel like the time stop is getting as rewarding as it should be anymore. I don't really like this change because 37.5% was already pretty low as compared to the 50% we used to be able to do, but I guess I'm not complaining because if I use a non-time stop resistant stand, I'll be happy. Now, the next change is making stop time resume faster. By that, I think it literally just means that when time stop is over, it resumes faster, like the sequence just goes faster. I don't really know what to feel about this. I don't really feel like it's such a major change that I need to have a feeling on this, but let's just keep going on. The next change is that all time stop ability and upgrade skill points were adjusted. I don't know if they were adjusted to be less or to be more. Hopefully they were to stay the same or be a little bit more, maybe less, but nothing too extreme because they were kind of fine the way they were. The next two changes are about Shadow of the World, and the Shadow of the World time stop windup was finally increased and the cooldown was increased as well. Personally, I really think this is a W change because every time I went against Shadow of the World, it was just annoying to be time stopped and knifed every few seconds. But here's a big and probably controversial change. Base time stop and time stop movement durations have been reduced with all stands. Yes, that means that Timestop is now less seconds on every stand. However, to counterbalance that, everyone who has anti-time stop abilities, for example, if you time stop and you're able to move, now can move for less seconds. So I guess that's a good counterbalance, because it's not like you even needed all those seconds to do enough damage anyways. And now a really good change coming up that I've been begging to see for a long time throughout my YBA career is Timestop Mastery upgrades now exactly add 1 second to stopped time and 0.5 seconds to movement in Timestop's time. I don't know how many Pierokas I've used in my life just trying to fix the error of buying too many Timestop upgrades, because I didn't know how much they actually added, but now I can finally, just finally understand what it means to use a time stop skill point. Alright, so that's generally all the time stop changes summed up into one. Personally, I think they were solid changes. I know where they're coming from and I understand why they did it. But we now have to talk about the general balance changes, like stuff like specs and all that other stuff. Now, I'm not going to be talking about all of these because there's way too many, but I'm going to be talking about the ones that are kind of controversial. The Jawbreaker hitbox size is now reduced. This means that when you do the Jawbreaker move on boxing, it literally has less range now, and I guess that's fine because I felt like I could use it anytime the opponent would just be flying everywhere. But for the most part, after playing this update, it wasn't a huge change. I obviously felt like people could dash out or time skip out a little bit more, but I really understand where they're coming from, and I actually like it as well, because when I'm fighting someone with boxing, I can actually avoid getting Jawbreakered every single second. It's really good, and I actually like this balance change. Now, the next balance change is that Stand Barrage and Barrage type abilities are finally having reduced knockback. If you don't know what that means, it just means that when you're barraging someone, they won't just be knocked back so far that they could dash out and hit you with the counter move. Personally, I really feel like that is the best change they could have ever done, as every single time I barrage someone in SBR or something, or they barrage me, I perfect block their R or something, and I start barraging them again, they really just get out, time skip, and run away. But with this new balance change, I'm finally able to punish them properly for trying to bait me. Now, a really good change for boxing users is that the liver shot hitbox size was increased. Personally, in my opinion, I didn't really see a problem using this. I've been using boxing for a good bit now, and honestly, the liver shot was fine as it was. It wasn't super overpowered, it wasn't super bad, but I'll take a buff anytime. But personally, again, I just don't really think that this buff was really needed. It was still pretty decent. Anyways, it's been a while. Let me tell you guys my final rating. Now, with everything said, all the balances, the time stop changes, the new stands, the new skins, all the updates, and all of that, I am going to be giving this an 8 out of 10. But there's one thing I have yet to say. Remember that bug where you use an arrow and it doesn't appear with your standout and you have to go all the way in the stand menu to even see what stand you got? That bug is still there. I don't know if it's there on purpose or not. Either way, thank you guys for watching. My name is Rudolph and I'm signing out.